Hello friends, a very warm welcome to the Crochet Hook channel. Today I am going to present with you all a very beautiful stitch in crochet that is called box stitch. It's also called a 3D shell stitch. As you can see, we have shells all over this stitch. These shells are special as these have a very riveting and engrossing texture to them. See how beautiful these shells look. Also, this stitch offers a certain degree of firmness to the fabric created with this stitch. And the magic with this stitch lies in the fact that if you change the row in which you're going to change the shade, the view of the stitch, the entire pattern looks different and it gives an entirely different effect. See, this I have made with multicolors. You can also make it in single color and that's still stunningly beautiful. Here I have one more. This gauge made with the same stitch and I have made it in two colors and see how beautiful it looks. Again, here I have changed the color in this third row. If you change the color in the rows of SCs, as I'll be explaining nextly, you will get an entirely different kind of pattern with the same stitch. So it offers a great deal of variety with the same stitch. So let's go ahead and have fun working with this ravishing, beautiful, engrossing stitch, the textured, and have fun crocheting this beautiful stitch. So to begin with, work a slip knot. And here we are going to chain a number of 50 and then we'll make 2 extra chains. So chain 50 plus 2. As I've already mentioned, this stitch is a repeat of, is a multiple of 10 stitches and 8 rows. So here I am chaining 50 as a multiple of 10 and then 2 extra chains here, 1 and 2, and here skip the first chain and into the second chain here insert the hook and work 1 SC here like this. Nextly skip 4 chains below, 1, 2, 3 and 4, into the 5th chain yarn over and work a shell. So work 5 DCs, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 DCs, then chain 1 and work 5 more DCs in the same chain space below. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This creates a shell. Nextly, skip 4 chains again and while counting the chains here, be a little careful as the chain next to the chain where we made the shell gets a little tightened. So carefully skip 4 chains into the 5th chain, work 1 SC. This is what we are creating. Again, yarn over and skip 4 chains below, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Into the 5th chain, work a shell again. So work 5 DCs, 1, 5 DC, chain 1, 5 DC made in the same stitch is a shell. 2, 3, 4 and 5, then chain 1 and work 5 more DCs in the same chain space below. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Again a shell is created. Skip 4 chains, into the 5th chain work 1 SC. This is how we are going to move in this round, working an SC, then a shell,
again an SC, then a shell, and so on. Yarn over, skip 4 chains below. Into the 5th chain here, again work 1 shell. Insert the hook, work 5 DC, chain 1 5 DC in the same chain space below. 2, 3, 4 and 5 DCs, then chain 1 and make 5 more DCs in the same chain space below. So this is what we are creating. This is a row of shells. I'll see you at the end. Just move like this. So here I have created 4 shells. I have to make 1 more shell. So after SC, skip 4 chains below and yarn over into the 5th chain here. Again work 1 shell. So work 5 DCs. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 DCs, then chain 1 and 5 more DCs in this very chain space here. The last shell is created. Nextly we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 chains left. Into the 5th chain here, insert the hook and work 1 SC. This finishes our row 1. This is how it looks. To begin round 2, chain 1 and turn, and into the very first SC below work 1 SC here only. Round 2 is a round of FPSCs. So insert the hook around this first DC of the shell from front to back to front, work 1 FPSC around it like this. Then around the next DC also work 1 FPSC, front post single crochet. Around the third DC of the shell work 1 FPSC, 3. Then around the 4th DC work 1 FPSC, 4. Around the 5th DC work 1 FPSC, 5. After creating 5 FPSCs in round 2, chain 1, then around the next DC work 1 FPSC like this. Just work 1 FPSC around every DC of the shell. And the last one here for this shell. Nextly, between these 2 shells we have this SC below. Around this SC as well, insert the hook from front to back to front and work 1 FPSC very gently like this. Don't tighten the stitches. Again, in the next shell, around every DC work 1 FPSC. And don't forget to chain 1 after you have made 5 FPSCs. So 2, 3, 4 and 5. After 5th FPSC work 1 chain as we used to chain 1 at the center of the shell, and then work 1 FPSC around every DC. And 5. Then between these 2 shells we have this SC below. Around this SC as well work 1 FPSC like this very gently. the next shell again, around the very first DC work 1 FPSC, and around every DC work 1 FPSC, 3, 4 and 5. After 5 FPSCs, always chain 1 and work another set of 5 FPSCs here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Nextly, in this SC below, work 1 FPSC. This is what we are creating. I've reached the last DCs of the last shell. After working this last FPSC into this SC below, the last SC, work 1 SC. Insert the hook and just work 1 last SC here. This finishes our row 2 as well. Working FPSCs around the DCs creates a second layer behind the shell. This is the front of this row of the shells, and creating FPSCs behind them gives a double layer. So the texture is added here. This is the front layer and this is the back layer of FPSCs. So to begin our round 3, I'm going to change the color here. So I'm just attaching the pink shade here. Chain 4, 3 and 4 and turn the work. Yarn over and into the same place where you created chain 4 in the SC, first SC, work 1 DC like this. Nextly, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we are going to work in this back row of FPSCs in the center where we worked chain 1 here. Insert the hook in this chain 1 space of FPSCs and work 1 SC like this. Nextly, chain 3 again, then skip 5 stitches below. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yarn over into the 6th stitch here, work 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 more DC in the same space here. A V stitch is created. Chain 3 again. Here again in this chain 1 space of the FPSCs behind, work 1 SC. Chain 3 again. Skip 5 stitches below. 4 and 5, yarn over into the 6th stitch, work 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC. Like this, a V stitch is created again. This is what we are creating. Chain 3, again in this chain 1 space on the row on the back side of FPSCs, work 1 SC in this chain 1 space and chain 3 again. Skip 5 stitches below, 3, 4 and 5, yarn over into the 6th stitch, work 1 DC, chain 2 and work 1 more DC in the same space here. Chain 3 again, and in the chain 1 space of FPSCs here, insert the hook, work 1 SC, chain 3, skip 5 stitches below, yarn over and into the 6th stitch, work 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC in the same stitch here. A V stitch is created. This is how it looks. This is the 3rd round we are working. Chain 3, again in this chain 1 space of FPSCs, in the next shell work 1 SC and chain 3. Nextly we have this last SC here, yarn over, into this SC work 1 DC, and here chain 1, yarn over, work 1 more DC into this SC. So this is what we have created in the round 3. This is the back side of the shells, and this is the front. To begin round 4, chain 1 and turn the work. In the very first DC, insert the hook at the top of it and work 1 SC like this. Chain 1. In the next DC, work 1 SC. Chain 3 again. We have this SC at the center of the shell. Work 1 SC at the top of this SC. Chain 3 again. 1, 2 and 3. In this next DC of the V-stitch, work 1 SC. Chain 2. And in the next DC of the V-stitch, work 1 SC. Chain 3 again, we are working on the back side. In this SC, at the center of the shell, work 1 SC, chain 3. Again, in the next DC here, work 1 SC, chain 2. In the next DC, work 1 SC, chain 3. In the SC, at the center of the shell, work 1 SC, chain 3 again. In this DC, work 1 SC, chain 2, and in the next DC below, work 1 SC. We are working on the back side of the shells. Chain 3 again, and in the next SC at the top of the shell, here work 1 SC, chain 3 again. In the next DC of this V-stitch, work 1 SC, chain 2 and 1 SC at the top of the next DC below, like this. Chain 3 again. Nextly, into this SC, work 1 SC, chain 3. We have reached the end of this round. At the top of this DC, work 1 SC, chain 1, this time chain 1, and we had chained 4 here. At the top third chain, insert the hook, work 1 SC. This completes round 4 as well. This is the front side. So let's begin round 5. Chain 4. This is the beginning of round 5. Chain 4, turn the work, and here into the second round below. Skip this round and into this round here in chain 1 space between the chain 4 and the DC. Yarn over, insert the hook 2 rounds below and work 5 DCs. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Nextly, in the front of this shell where we chained 1 between the 2 sets of 5 DCs, in the center chain 1, work 1 SC like this. Again yarn over, 2 rows below we have this V-stitch, chain 2 space here. We are going to work 1 shell. So work 5 DCs, chain 1 and 5 DCs into this chain 2 space. 2 DCs made, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, work 5 more DCs in the same chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one here 5. Again, in the shell below, in the round one here, at the center of it we had made one chain space. Insert the hook here in the one chain space of this shell and work one SC like this. Again, yarn over, we have this V-stitch below, 2 rows below. Into this chain 2 space work one shell. 1, we are working 5 DCs, chain 1, 5 DCs, 2, this is the third DC of the shell, 3, 4, and one more, 5, chain 1, 5 more DCs in the same chain 2 space here, and that creates a shell. 1. This stitch is very beautiful and it's very easy as well to follow. 3, 4, and 5. Again, we have this shell below. In the center chain 1 space, here insert the work 1 SC. Yarn over, and here in this chain 2 space of the next V stitch, 2 rounds below work 1 shell. So work 5 DCs, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 5 DCs, chain 1, and 5 more DCs in the same chain 2 space here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The last one here. Again, into the shell below, here in the chain 1 space here, at the center of it work 1 SC like this. So this is how we have created until now. Again, this is the last V stitch. I'm working my last SC here after the last shell made, and here we have the last V stitch. Yarn over, and into this V stitch work 5 DCs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After working 5 DCs, please chain 1 here, chain 1, and then at the top of this last DC work 1 DC. So to begin round 6, chain 2 and turn the work. We have 5 DCs below. Just work 1 FPSC around each of the upcoming 5 DCs like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the half of the shell. So we created 5 FPSCs here after chain 2. Then we have this SC below between this half shell and the complete shell. Around this SC as well, work 1 FPSC very gently like this. Again, there is a complete shell ahead. Around each of the DCs of this shell work 1 FPSCs, and don't forget to place chain 1 after 5 FPSCs. 2, 3, 4, and 5. After 5 FPSCs, chain 1, and in the next 5 DCs of the shell, just work 1 FPSC around each of them like this. In this essay below, between the two shells, insert the hook from front to back to front, pull over a loop and work 1 FPSC here. And in this next shell again, work FPSCs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, 5 more FPSCs in this shell around each of the 5 DCs below, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In this essay below, around it work 1 FPSC like this. So just move like this. I'll see you at the end of this round. So I am just going to work my last FPSCs here around these 5 DCs below. Work 5 FPSCs, 1 at the top of 1 DC like this. Chain 1, and here in the third chain insert the hook. We had chained 4 there. In the third chain insert the hook, work 1 SC. This completes our row 6 as well, and this is how it looks from the back and in the front. The texture is really coming up nice. This is the top. Now for round 7 I'm going to change the shade again. So here, to begin round 7, chain 1, turn the work, and into this very first SC here below, work 1 SC in this SC below like this. Chain 3, skip 5 stitches below. We are working in the back layer of FPSCs. Skip 5 stitches, yarn over into the 6th stitch, work 1 DC, chain 2, yarn over, work 1 more DC in the same stitch here. This creates a V stitch. Chain 3 again. Again in the back layer of FPSCs we have this chain 1 space. At the center of this shell, work 1 SC. Remember, we are working on the back layer of FPSCs. Chain 3, skip 5 stitches below, yarn over, insert the hook into the 6th stitch, work 1 DC, chain 2, yarn over, work 1 more DC in the same stitch. A V stitch is created. Chain 3 again, and in this top 1 chain space of FPSCs on the layer back side, just work 1 SC, chain 3, skip 5 stitches below, yarn over into the 6th stitch here, insert the hook, work 1 DC, chain 2, work 1 more DC in the same space. Remember, we are working in the back layer of FPSCs. So chain 3 again, and in the chain 1 space at the top of the shell on the back layer here, work 1 SC, chain 3 again, yarn over, skip 5 stitches below, and into the 6th stitch, work 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 DC in the same stitch here. Create a V stitch. Chain 3 again. In this chain 1 space of the back layer of FPSCs, work 1 SC, chain 3, skip 5 stitches below on the back side here, on the back layer, yarn over into the 6th stitch, work 1 DC, chain 2 and 1 more DC here into the same stitch, chain 3, and here we have this one chain space. We had chained 2, so in this one chain space here, insert the hook and work 1 SC here like this. This completes our row 7 as well. Chain 1, turn the work. In this very first SC, work 1 SC, chain 3. Nextly, in the first DC of this V stitch, insert the hook, work 1 SC, chain 2, and in the next DC here, work 1 SC here, chain 3 again. Nextly, we have this SC at the top of the shell, work 1 SC at the top of this SC, chain 3, work 1 SC in this DC, chain 2, and work 1 SC in the next DC, chain 3, work 1 SC at the top of this shell where we have made this SC. So just work 1 SC at the top of this SC, chain 3, work 1 SC in this DC below, chain 2, and work 1 SC at the top of this next DC of the V stitch, and move all the way like this. I'll see you at the end here. So I've reached the end, worked my last SC in the DC, chain 3 here. We have this last SC at the end of this row here. Insert the hook, work 1 SC. This completes our row 8 as well. Chain 1 and turn. Now we are going to begin the row of shells. So here, after skip 3 rows, and below we have this 5 DCs, and the last DC there is one chain 1 space here. So insert the hook like this and take out the hook from between the 2 layers of the shell like this. Pull up the loop and work 1 SC here. Now yarn over, and we'll be working 2 rows below. In this V stitch, in the 2 chain space, work 1 shell, work 5 DCs, chain 1 and 5 DCs here, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain 1, and work 5 more DCs here in the same V stitch to create a shell. Nextly, we have this shell in the row below. So in this shell, at the center of it, we have chain 1 space. Insert the hook, work 1 SC like this. Again, in the 7th row, we are working the shell and work 1 shell in this V stitch, and while working the SC, we move down to the 5th row and work 1 SC at the center of the shell in the 5th row. Chain 1 and work 5 more DCs in the same space here. Currently we are working in the row 7. This is row 9, and we are working this shell in the row 7. So shell is created. Nextly, this is the row 5, the shell of row 5. In this chain 1 space of this shell, work 1 SC like this. This is what we are creating. Again, yarn over into this shell, into this V stitch again, work 1 shell. Work 5 DCs, chain 1 and 5 DCs. chain 1, 5 more DCs in the same chain 2 space. Again, in the 5th row, we have this shell here. In the front of it, at the top of it, in chain 1 space, work 1 SC like this. Then in the V stitch, next to it, work 1 shell. I'll see you at the end. So here I've reached the end. Nextly, here, between the chain 4 and the 5 DCs, we had chained 1 here. In this chain 1, insert the hook and work 1 SC like this. This completes our 9th round as well. So just repeat the rows 2 to 9 till you reach the desired length. This pattern is a repeat of 8 rows and 10 stitches. I hope you like the stitch. Just work your length according to your need.
So let's quickly see how to understand the stitch in a better way. We have this shells all over, and we have two kinds of rows of shells. Ones which start with complete shell and end in a complete shell, and these rows alternate with the rows of the shells which start with the half shell and end with the half shell. Okay. Nextly, in this kind of pattern, here, after round 2 of FPSCs that we create here, we create the next shell in round 5, then next shell in round 9, then in 13, then in 17, then in 21, and so on. So after every 3 rows, into every 4th row, we are creating a shell. This is a very important point. Nextly, when we alternate this complete shell with this half shell, we have one complete shell less in this row, obviously, as this complete shell is broken and put on the 2 sides to level and balance this pattern. Again, we have a complete shell row and then a half shell row like this, the row that begins with a half shell, and so on. And nextly, when we are climbing here, when we make this V stitch, at the corners, when we have this half of the shell, we just chain 1 in the center here. We chain 4 and climb and work 1 DC. So chain 3 here counts as a DC, and chain 1 here is the chain 1 space between these 2 DCs. And so again, when we end this row here, we work 1 DC and chain 1 only and work 1 DC, as we only need 1 chain space to work 5 DCs of the shell. We are creating only half of the shell here, and everywhere else in the center we are creating the complete shell, so we are chaining 2. So just keep this much in mind. Nextly, when we are working this shell round, always remember that we chain 1 here in this shell round. In such a round, we chain 1 and then we work this kind of SC first between the 2 layers here. We insert the hook like this and work this SC here. To create this look on the sides, we work like this. Also, here I want to add that when we begin this rows of FPSCs anywhere, we always chain 2 and turn and just begin making the FPSCs into every DC ahead. So only except for the row 2 where we chain 1 and work 1 SC here, except for this second row, everywhere else where we have to create this rows of FPSC, we just chain 2 and turn. And here chain 2 of this FPSC actually is like chain 1 stands for 1 SC, and next chain 1 here also stands for that 1 chain gap where we work this SC in this row. So these are a few points that will help you understand the stitch better. Good luck with the box stitch.